is infrastructure. When you talk about pharmaceuticals and others going to Esuchari, as we speak, transporting goods from the main Akosombo road to Esuchari has been a hell for us. Yesterday we had to tow B5 with a whole tons of iron rods looking for dozer because the trucks are getting stuck on the road. It was cost to us. As we speak, we're looking for support just to construct a 5-kilometer road to enable us have a smooth trade from the main road to our factory. I'd like to know, how can we get such assistance from the 24-hour economy? Not really coming with money, but giving us the infrastructure support. Some of the experiences that we have experienced, so let me talk for general businesses here as well. You spoke about land. We lost our first land acquisition and have invested in a second one. If not for that, our project will be up and producing now. Why did we lose? Because when we approach the industrial enclaves along the Akosombo Road and other places, we're being asked of $100,000 per acre. And with that, even when you ask for a warehouse space, they are telling they are going to build it for you at $130 per square meter. So these are some of the challenges. And as a son of an industrialist, I know that when some of this funding or industrial enclaves are built, it ends up not being affordable for the local Ghanaian or the Okanshi boy, which I am, trying to graduate from trade to manufacturing. Dr. Ish, what are you doing about this? And the last thing I'd like to say is I am happy and excited to hear you talk about relief sunsets, because at times some reliefs are given to businesses and without any sunset, and those reliefs do not help the larger economy as is targeted to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Should we just take one last one from those at the back, and then we can go to those online, please. Please, if you can keep your questions concise and precise so that we can capture it. Please.
Hello, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Christine. I'm the CEO of Zuriel Carbon Products Limited. Doc, I have a question in terms of the manpower, the human resource in our country. I want to place on record that Ghanaian businesses are really struggling, and whatever it takes to help us build our businesses to what would benefit the country has to be really ahead to. My company is located in a rural community where Galamsey is really predominant. All the youth are into Galamsey. And it's difficult to get people to work for you. I want to find out if with this program there's emphasis on the government working with companies with maybe GEA or the youth ministry to engage them, because I know one of the main reasons for this 24 economy is to create employment. I think it's 331 if I understand the formula. So can we really work with YEA or youth ministry to engage this youth rather than them going into Galamsey? That's my first issue. My second issue has to do with energy. I heard the presenter talk about the Bui solar resource. If I'm located in the eastern region, how am I going to take advantage of it? Why don't you scale it down to maybe providing solar for regions? I mean, companies within regions, so that we can take advantage of it. ECG is killing our businesses. The bill that will come at the end of the month, you have to close down. Energy is a huge problem for us as businesses. Kindly address those issues for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think let's start talking about some of the solutions to the questions, and then we can try and have another session on the questions. Let's start from the point about youth enterprises and how we address the job issues which have really resulted in the Galamsey situation. So there is a question of job. There are two key things, strategies that we have. Number one is the skills for the job. And number two, making sure that you have the job available. And I think the third one is the attitude of the worker. The third one is pretty difficult because most industrial, and you know it, that we have workers that may not even have the adequate skills you require for, and you want to invest in them to acquire the skills for the purpose of adding to the job, and then they have bad attitude. To the extent that when someone goes out for, there are many instances where we've been told they go out for Christmas, they don't come back after 2 months, and giving all kinds of excuses. The grandfather, lorry tie, got busted. The grand auntie was buried, they don't know where he was buried, and all those sort of things. So we do have an issue about attitude that we have to work on. But we have worked with YEA. We are structuring a program where we would produce the skills that are needed for industry and be able to match them to that. And one of the ways we are creating the jobs is also through the agroecological park, industrial parks, and then the contract manufacturing that will go in those contexts. And we're trying to make sure that when the jobs come, our youth are adequately prepared to be able to acquire those jobs. The question of energy, our strategy is that we produce energy that is between 7 to 9 cents per kilowatt hour, as we indicated. We even want to go cheaper than that because our desire is to be able to get something in the ranges of 6 cents per kilowatt hour, because that makes production competitive. And the strategy here is not just renewable energy in solar, but all types of renewable energy mix in terms of biogas and so on and so forth, to be able to have a pool of energy that have the right quantity that can move to people. And we are putting battery storage systems so that the energy can be stored and be able to provide you with a continuous energy supply you need for your project. Of course, the grid will become a backup, but we are looking at other backups around biogas and so on. And one of the things that you will realize, my sister, is that where you want to site industry, you don't want it to go far from the port. Your concern is that transportation to the port becomes difficult. But at the same time, when you have land that is cheap enough to be able to invest, is away from Accra, away from Greater Accra. And where you want to have the jobs, it should be away from Eastern region, Greater Accra, and Ashanti region. Because these are the areas that contain 70% of the workforce of the country. So if we all want to create jobs, then we must be able to find ourselves in other regions where we can create the jobs. If not, what we are trying to do, so I'm coming to your answer. I'm seeing you throw your hands, I'm also throwing my hands. Because I really want to get you to understand the spirit of what we are doing, so you can work with that. So moving into that direction, then, we have to come away from the way the colonialists have done in looking at just one aspect of our country and where there are natural resources and then invest them. The bane of what we are doing is very much across 10 regions of the country where the Volta Economic Corridor passes. In order to reach where you have your energy, you need to be able to wheel the energy. You need appropriate infrastructure to wheel the energy. The ones that are wheeling your energy are 220 kVps and so on. You need something around 250, 400 kVps to be able to wheel the type of energy you need for your large-scale manufacturing. You understand? So the elephant in the room in terms of energy is also the energy infrastructure that will support industrialization. We have to invest in that. The way we are doing it is those who produce the energy, they also will create what they call the park SPV. And the park SPV will uptake the energy, and they will have the funds to invest in the transmission lines to get you to where you are going to become. So the energy will be wheeled directly to where you are going. To the extent that you'll be able to have a captive energy. You know there's a dedicated energy supply that you rely on for your manufacturing. That is bespoke and contextual to you. That's the way we are looking at it. So it's a whole lot of things that we are working on. And we are working with Gridco, we are working with ECG, and they will be able to offload some of the energy that we give to them, and we'll give to them to sell to you at the price that we dictate. That's the policy. All right. So this is what we are trying to do in terms of energy. Now there was a question about the Okanchi. Sorry, remind me the question again.
These taxes, they will come and something on.
Yes, correct. Right. Yes, right. So the backward integration and making sure that when you are expanding, you have address the issue of energy, but also have the issue of land that you are looking at. And Nance also talked about the way we're making land available for you to be able to access. And truly, one of the things that I believe is critical to all of us who want to expand our businesses is to be able to get the land that is affordable. The participating land access model that Nance explained, this is our way of making sure that you have access to the land you need in an adequate amount to set up your industry. All right. Now, we are working with landowners who have land transfer plans. Of course, we are targeting the Volta Economic Corridor. So far, through this model, we have available 600,000 hectares of land. 600,000 hectares of land available for you to invest in our commodity corridor. All right? And also to be able to establish your type of industrial park that you want to do. Now, the way the participating land access model works is this. Normally, you need between 30 to 50 years of concession in order to break it. Some may want it earlier, maybe 20 years. But of course, it is not less than those number of years. You cannot pay for land in that accumulated number of years outright because the cost of your capital expenditure will be high. So the participation access land model works with the land communities, compare the value of land as some kind of trust of equity in investment. You can negotiate a number of years advance, fit your pocket to be able to enable you to come. So through that, you will be able to have your land, you'll be able to start. And it is expected that when you set up an industry in a community, you hire the people. And the landowners, their children are the people that you're going to hire. So there's a lot more commitment towards the project success to make it happen. So that is why we are going through the participating land access model. And it gives you that comfort to be able to set up and be able to move on. Now, if any of you is looking for land to site your industry, you reach out to us, we'll work with you. Because we do have the relationships that can look for the land for you to do so. Right, so these are some of the points that I want to do. I think that in the interest of time,
Yes.
what I would suggest is all the questions that are online, please harvest the questions to us and we'll take the pains to try to answer them. The other thing is also that if there are questions here, we want you to be able to get those questions for us. We will sit to talk to them. Now, if you really want to have one-on-one with us and so on, please pass through, get them. We acknowledge, we can, look that. I'm also happy to come back at any time to sit down with you to look at sector by sector issues. And we have a team that cuts across those sectors, and he can sit with you to look at how you'll be able to help you solve your problem. And what I want to really drive at is, I want all of you to think about truly mobilizing to invest in these projects that we put together. Wouldn't it be beautiful that a Volta Economic Corridor infrastructure like the Nile for Egyptians were built by Ghanaians themselves? They own the barges, they own the infrastructure, they own the Volta Economic Corridor production base. This is just made in Ghana by Ghanaians, for Ghanaians, and for the world. That's what I want to see, and I really want you to take it seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ishmael Nidodo. Shall we give it up to him? So we are not closing. We'll come back to your questions. We need to take the presentation from our sponsor and our partner, Republic Bank, and then we'll come back to you for the questions from the bank as well as the 24-hour secretariat. Beyond that, we're going to have a networking lunch. So we are not leaving you with your questions. During the lunch, we will sit with the official from the secretariat, and then we will engage them, and then we can talk and get more answers. You can also send us your question to the chamber, and then we'll forward it to the secretariat as well. On that note, let us welcome the representative from the Republic Bank, Mr. Jacob Kofi Mensah Obenu. Let's welcome him to tell us how we can get funding to implement all this. And he will introduce his team that came with him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When it's lunchtime, it takes a lot of courage to keep you on your seats. So I will plead with you. I'm going to go straight to the point. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, kindly permit me to stand on existing protocols and to quickly say, may I have the presentation, please? As we go through the presentation, I have my team from Republic Bank, Nana Usumenu, David, Isaac. If there's something that attracts you, pull one of them. He will attend to you here, now. Okay? So let's go. Let's roll. So Republic Bank, we are the largest indigenous bank in the Caribbean with assets of $19.5 billion. Now, in Ghana, we acquired HFC Bank. You remember back in the day, Home Finance Company became HFC Bank. Today, we are Republic Bank, a bigger bank with presence in 16 countries, and we do a lot of cross-border transactions. So, next, please. What we are bringing to the table is to share 188 years experience and what we have seen when it comes to accelerated export development and what we have played over the years, so that you can pick one or two things that will help your business to grow. Let's go to the next slide. I just want to talk quickly about what we have been part of in the Caribbean, called the Point Lisas Industrial Estate. And Republic Bank sits in the heart of Point Lisas to provide the financing that went into moving Point Lisas companies from small indigenous companies to companies that are generating $8 billion annually. Okay? So that experience is what we'll share with you, because a lot of you here have businesses, you have plans for exports, you already are doing some exports that you need to really grow market share and things like that. So Point Lisas did not exist until funding came into the picture. Okay? Now, the whole of Trinidad sits on natural gas, but the country itself wasn't able to monetize that. So with funding, indigenous companies were handheld and guided to set up ammonia processing plants, urea, all forms of fertilizer blending processing plants. Today, Trinidad and Tobago is one of the largest exporters of fertilizer-based ammonia, urea, potash to the ends of the world. And they've built it incorporating world standards, world certifications to be able to meet the demands in every market. And that is where Republic Bank wants to help and support indigenous companies, because we've done it in the past. Why not replicate same here? Let's go to the next slide, please. So today, our exports last year was 31 billion US dollars. 67% of that is gold. And even the gold is the raw gold, raw Dory gold. If we had refined that, that would have like doubled. Okay? So they need to really industrialize so that we stop exporting raw in every form. You can see the non-traditional sector. We're generating 5 billion US dollars. The target under the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development is to move that figure to 10 billion by 2030. That will require every business to be ready and link and align to the infrastructure that is being built for us to all quickly move towards that target. Let's go to the next slide. Alignment is key. It's the same way Point Lisas succeeded. When government sets in that I'm going to put up this infrastructure, you connect your businesses to it. That is how the world developed. When the Netherlands decided to take over the cut flower market, they established the Aalsmeer flower auction market. And today, about 12 billion of cut flowers move across the world through that single point, an auction market, because that infrastructure was created to facilitate. Today we are talking about a cargo air base, airstrip up north in Tamale. That infrastructure, it will be put in place. When it does, your business needs to be ready to connect to it. That is what helps indigenous companies leverage on specific investments that central government will put in place to support companies, to support businesses. Let's move to the next. Now, standardization is key. There is no way the companies that we finance in Point Lisas would have succeeded without standardization, because the markets that you are entering, there are already existing players there, and they're going to beat you with technicalities when it comes to certifications and standardizations. There's no way you can sell organic products into the EU if you don't have their organic certifications. You need that. You need to start small as part of your business today, because those technicalities are real. And for you, your products to command high prices in those markets, you need to get those certifications. Let's go next. Processing plant. There's a rule of thumb. Look, in every market, there are existing players who are there. Today, if you are a chocolate processor and you want to export maybe cocoa nibs or powder at industrial scale to big off-takers, let's take some European off-takers, Maastricht, Angerstock, Ferrero, all these people, they already are okay with buying the raw beans from you. Because when they process it, they make all the huge margins. Now you want to compete in that space. They will beat you with technicalities. That your processing plant you are using, even the stainless steel that was used to manufacture the grinders, it is low-grade stainless steel. You don't meet their standards. How do you go around those things? You can, in a way, beat them to their strategy. You to get a European manufactured processing plant. You don't need to buy a whole big plant end to end, all models at a time. No. Take it model by model. That's how we've helped indigenous companies grow. So if you want to process chocolates, just buy the model that will do NIPS. Roasting, crushing. Start with it. European technology, selling to European off-takers, you beat them to that technicality, because that technicalities are real issues that you need to really know whilst you want to go into those markets. Next, please. Financing bit. Any manufacturer here, any exporter here, particularly this part of the slide is skewed towards exporters, those who are already exporting or those who are in the process. We do a number of things. One is inputs. Input financing, raw materials. We also do CAPEX, okay? For you to get the appropriate equipment to be able to meet the standards in the market that your products are actually heading for. So that bit of financing, we do that. Let's go to post. Post shipment. Because export time value of money is really key and so important. Once you export, come to us. We can look at the transaction and say, look, you are expecting 50,000 US from your off-takers. I'll discount it for you. I will give you funding on the back of that so that you can go and still get your deals going quickly and then rolling so that you do not wait till you have your receivables before you go back to produce. Let's go quickly. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. There are very simple processes that we help our exporters with. There are times you need comfort from your off-takers that they will make payment, they will make it on time, they will make it as planned. There are a number of instruments we will use to help you so that gives you that comfort. We will get your off-takers, bankers to add their strength, their backing to your receivables that you are expecting. And we will do that for you so that you are at peace that your money will certainly come. Because your bank, Republic Bank, will speak to the supplier's bank and have them put their neck on the line. That once the goods arrive, once documents are shared, they will take the payments from the off-taker and send it to you through me, Republic Bank. Next, please. So, whilst we end here, this further trade instruments, I have my manager for international trade here, Martin. Martin, let's see you. All right. So there are several discussions we can have here if you are interested. Let's go next. Next. We are just wrapping up. Let's go next. All right. For those of you already in the export business, see some figures here. This is West African sub-regional trade here. Look at 2025, exports to Burkina Faso $532 million. This is no joke, eh? Cote d'Ivoire, 205. Togo, 232. Just our immediate neighbors. Our immediate neighbors. Obviously, Burkina is landlocked, so there's a lot of trade volumes. For those of you already in export trade to Burkina, you open an LOC is generated from ICAMS, and you send your goods. Your off-taker, who is supposed to wire offshore to you, calls you and says, there's problem, okay? The money, the banks are delaying, I can't send it. I've sent my nephew to bring the money cash to you, dollar. One of my customers called me that his off-taker said he's at the border, he has $1 million in his boot. Should he take it or not take it? I said, tell your off-taker to declare the money at the port of entry. Paga Hamile, declare it and take the declaration documents. Take the declaration document. Tell your customer, you should bring the declaration documents that the funds came from offshore. Bring the declaration documents, bring the funds and the declaration document to me at the bank. And I'll be able to process it and close your LOC position, so that you can do subsequent transfers. Because the volume of trade, landlocked countries, cross-border, across Togo, Lomé, Aflao, Elubo, Hamile, are real transactions that you cannot ignore. But there are solutions that you can use easily to be able to do your trade. Last slide. Here I will say, pick your phones and take a picture of this slide. If you need any of us, you can get us. If there's anything, one thing that you want to ask further questions, you want to know, you want to inquire, you want to just take a picture of it, reach out to us. We'll always be available. We are no longer at a Bankese. The head office has moved to the Rich Roundabout on the Independence Avenue. You see Republic Bank there. Come over when you next pass the neighborhood. Let's discuss exports. Let's discuss your business. Let's discuss what you need us to support with. We will always be ready to leverage what we have done in Point Lisas. That if you want to move your manufacturing business to the export, international export level, come have a chat with us, okay? And then we will take it from there. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Let's do better. Let's do better for our brother Jacob. That is wonderful. And like I said, we are coming back to you for your questions. We'll take the next set of questions. We'll go for answers. It could be either for Republic Bank or for 24-hour secretariat. Who has the mic? Yes, you are number one. Number one, number two, number three, number four.
The mic is here.
So, who has the mic?
Yes.
You have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, right. Thank you very much for the presentation. Republic Bank, thank you also very much. What I find most significant about most of the 24-hour economy discussions that we had in an economy is everything is designed, but it's not just simply to expand working hours. It's not about platform. It's about platform investment. And then it's about import substitutions. It's about export development and then private sector participation. However, what I've realized also is that between the large international projects that we have mentioned and then the ordinary Ghanaian enterprises, there is still a missing execution layer that needs to be looked at. Many SMEs are not presently ready to operate within what we have discussed, most of the things that we have mentioned within the industrial value chain that we have looked at. Some of the things are in digital infrastructure is understated within what we have mentioned. SME aggregation is also insufficiently discussed within what we have mentioned so far. So what I would like to ask the Secretariat and those of us here is that will the Secretariat create an open pathway for Ghanaian technology, business transformation and professional service companies to help design and deliver the enterprise execution infrastructure that we have mentioned? Secondly, I would like to also know that whether the program processes public performance agreement, because we mentioned most of those things. Annual reviews, we mentioned about clawbacks, we mentioned about GRA cross-reference reporting. What digital infrastructure will be used to verify enterprise investment, what jobs, production, export, import, incentive compliance, all those things that were mentioned? How can Ghanaian technology companies participate in such building such infrastructure? And then also for SMEs, most opportunities that were mentioned presented largely around capital incentive products. Most of the projects that were mentioned were based on that. What specific aggregation or shared infrastructure or financial mechanisms will allow Ghanaian SMEs to participate as suppliers, as operators, as co-investors, rather than merely becoming customers or consumers of our own product and project that we are looking at? And finally, for manufacturers, I would like to ask, what measurable local content and supplier development obligations will the anchor companies have so that machinery, construction, maintenance, technology, professional services, service opportunities are deliberately open to Ghanaian firms? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, let's keep the questions very short. We have a lot of people who have questions. You can do one, maximum two, so others can also get opportunity. So okay. Go on, Madam.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Georgina Moni. When the presenter was doing his presentation, he mentioned something about taxing profits, not production. As business owners, when you say that, we get a little joy in our hearts. But the question is, what exactly does it translate into? Is it reducing withholding taxes? And then is that only for those businesses who will be under the 24-hour economy? And lastly, what are the timelines for implementing these? Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have appointed a first for, yes, please go ahead. And then, yes, please kindly go ahead and then let it be very snappy, very straight to the point, please.
Yeah, my name is Dominic Nyankum from Aponchi Memorial Herbal Clinic, and also a member of GAFTRAM. My question is, according to WHO, the global health medicine produce market was expected to be valued at $177.6 billion by 2029. I want to know what the 24-hour economy is doing, or considering a project that will develop the herbal medicine in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you. The next.
Yes, so my question to the 24-hour economy secretary is to take a look at the faces of the business people gathered here. Take a look at the impressions and the facial expression that we are giving. And that should tell you the level of disappointment that some of us are in the kind of 24-hour economy that was preached to us and the 24-hour economy that was being discussed here today. And the first presenter said that it was simplified in the heat of the campaign. But sincerely, it was not simplified. It was a promise to Ghanaians. And your office has been selected to deliver that mandate to Ghanaians. Today, you are here telling us we don't have money, the budget is full, government is not investing. Please, find the money. Because Ghanaians will hold you accountable to your promises. And please, it's good that you said you are here with Chamber, so that Chamber should give you ideas on how to do it. That is the hope that some of us have. That, well, but let us get around the table. Let us not sweep it under the word it was simplified. Let's see those promises. The 133. Sincerely, they even went to details to tell us Wachi joint and some things that will work on 24-hour economy. And tell us the jobs that it will create. So we are waiting for the jobs. And business people have created jobs over the years. We have taken risks. We've looked for money. We've built businesses to this level. If you come to us and we sit you around the table, yes, we will look at the long-term destination without forgetting the immediate expectation of the Ghanaian people. Let's not neglect that, because it will hit back at you in few years to come. Thank you.
The next one. Yeah. No, please. Yeah. We just, I think, 2 more, then you can take too much. Okay, then just after yours, we'll go for questions. And then please, we have also had presentation from Republic Bank. Let's also bring questions on the presentation as well. So please, can you go ahead?
My name is Emmanuel Somapia. With the aspect of the 24-hour economy market, I'm asking Doc to tell the preparation they made for the construction of the market centers. I am very much involved, and most of the projects have been awarded, but there are no sites for them for the construction. So if he can put some more light on it. Thank you.
So let's go for answers. Then we'll come back to this side and take more questions from them.
All right. Thank you very much. Quite a number of very interesting questions. And I think this is why we are here. So let's try to address them one by one. My first point is that when I look at people's faces, I do not see disappointment, I see excitement. And I say this because I also observe people's body languages. The commitments that we made for the 24-hour economy is to ensure that we have a nation that is running around the clock, highly productive, with the made in Ghana goods, your products everywhere, and through that process of expanded demand, we'll create the jobs, and you'll necessarily have to run shifts. I do not think that we have disappointed Ghanaians in laying the foundation for a very strong 24-hour economy. I think there is something that we do to hurt ourselves. The power of narrative. If you look at an issue and say, well, it is all bad, you will see it as all bad. If you look at an issue and say, well, this provides enough basis to inspire the hope that I desire, you will see it. And if you've seen that everything we have done here, we have talked about, is completely rubbish, you will see it the same way. And I want to draw your attention before I come to the point about what we have done, because everything that we have done, if we looked at the foundations we've laid, the patient capital we are trying to work out, the incentives, the markets that we are developing, the certification standards and all those things we are helping you to address. All these things are geared towards unlocking potential that will create the jobs that people need and make sure that we substitute our $3 billion of investment that we import at the time. So to say that everything we have done over the last just 1 year has been completely rubbish, it is very unfair. Right. All right. Well, that's my interpretation. All right. So, well, to say that it is completely, you say it is a disappointment, it's a failure, to say that is not fair. No, hold on, please. Okay, I want you to tell me exactly. Okay, let me ask you directly. Is what we have done rubbish? Okay. Is what we have done complete failure? Okay, then we're on the same page. Thank you. So we can go on. So then let's be constructive. The point you raise is the point about jobs. All right? It's a point about ensuring that what we promise would happen. The point you raise is also a point about an economy that does not sleep, to the extent that the watch seller will be selling 24 hours. All right? Now, the point, what we are saying is that whilst this remains our aspiration and destination, we have to work towards it. Because the fact that you want somebody desire to have 24-hour wattage joint does not come by a sudden flight. You have to work towards it. It requires investment. It requires creating the demand. It requires ensuring that the demand is sustainable. It requires that the input for your production is there, and so on and so forth. And therefore, we have to work towards those things. All right? So we are working towards the things that will make this happen within the shortest possible time. And that's what we are saying. So if we address our energy, for example, to be able to sell energy to you at 4 to 7 or 5 to 9 cents per kilowatt hour, it's 1/3 of your energy cost. This enables you to be very competitive. All right? If we work with you to be able to produce to the standard that European market needs and broker the trade for you, we have been able to help you out. If we establish the SME facility for you so that you have patient capital, moratorium of, say, 1 year, less than 10% of interest rate, no collateral, and you're accessing it, we have solved the problem. So this is what we are trying to do. We've broken down the problems into ingredients and tried to tackle them one after the other. So that's what we are trying to do. We may not have all the innovative strategy in our minds, but we are doing our best. And a forum like this is to be able to say to us, you are doing this way, but if you do it that way, it will add greater effect. We would like that. That's the constructive conversation that we don't have. We want to have. All right, so thank you very much that we are on the same page, that we are not doing something utterly failure. Now, there's a question about digital infrastructure. We believe that digital services is extremely important, and our colleague who raised the point, yes. So one of the programs that we are having, and this is a program we are doing with a development finance partner, with YEA, Ministry of Youth, Agriculture, and so on. It's what we call the Agritech, where we are leveraging GIS, AI, remote sensing technology to do precision agriculture with youth. All right? And this is, the program is to be rolled out maybe in November. So this is where we will need some of the digital solutions that you produce to be able to test them in this environment. The idea is to make agriculture very digital, very modernized, and it is also to strengthen the way youth engage agriculture, and they must engage it differently. This is within our strategy, what we call production transformation. Now, we believe that in order for us to substitute and meet the scale of production that we are looking at, we need to be able to have digital infrastructure to be able to do this. Now, the question about government does not have money. Remember when we set out, what we say was that There is no way any country has actually developed in the way we want to go with public funds. There's a question about models we looked at. We looked at Singaporean model, Vietnam model, we looked at Chinese model, we looked at Rwanda, we looked at Egypt. All right? So we looked at comparators, including Malaysia. And the questions we asked was, what worked for them? What didn't work for them? And how can we improve what we are trying to look at? And we work with, in the case of China, one of the persons who actually developed Shenzhen came to us and gave us where they started from and show us some of the pathway to where we are today, where they are today. In the case of Singapore, we sat with their development agency and learned their techniques and the way they move. Now we came to Ghana as well. We looked at our 40-year, 50-year development plan, Kwame Nkrumah development plans. We look at 1D, 1F. We look at Vision 2020 and everything that Ghana has done. We looked at all of this and spoken to people that have been very instrumental in implementing this, and they share with us what went well, what didn't go well, and how to improve. So if you look at the 24-hour economy program, if you are an architect of 1D, 1F, you will see that there are elements there that are similar. If you look at Vision 2020, what Dr. Rawlings developed, based on industrialization processes, that led to Empretech and MBSSI and so on, you will see that there's similarities there. So you will see that what we have done is to structure something that is necessarily citizenship-oriented, which is why we sought to ensure that the 24-hour economy becomes a national transformation agenda, irrespective of what political ideology it moves on. So for us, we believe, and it is our hope, that you embrace the 24-hour economy as such, that it becomes something that we carry on our shoulders and be able to do it. Now, what came very clear to us is that our brother talked about repetitions and so on. And the reason we arrived at an authority is because development is multidimensional. Development is multidimensional. You are talking about human transformation. And so you're not talking about capital formation, but you're talking about human development. So that is so different from investment in a private enterprise and a commercial enterprise. You are dealing with human beings. You are dealing with extreme poverty. There is poor and poor. There are two definitions of poverty. If you go to Bukom, or the Ododo constituency where I grew up, I have to go to Makola to sell to pay my fees to school. I lived in poor. Because what do I have? It's fish. Even the fish, you need charcoal to burn it. So if you don't have anything, you move from poor to poor. So you are dealing with scales of poverty, which is different from those in the north to the south and so on. So what you need is to structure an approach that strengthens what is called policy coherence. Look at how you address all the multidimensional aspects of it. And therefore, the 24-hour economy was constructed to be able to coordinate all aspects of development imperatives that align to the 24-hour economy. So fisheries is there. Transportation is there. Real estate is there. Digital infrastructure is there. Gender is there. Private sector is there. And all we do is to look at how we harmonize all our policies to be able to deliver the outcome we are looking for, which is an economy that is highly productive, very inclusive. Wealth are created by the private sector themselves, who are then employing people and making things become real. To the extent that one key question we asked was, what is Ghana that we are so proud of? What is so unique about Ghana versus other countries? To the extent that when you see someone standing as a Ghanaian or projecting the country Ghana, how different is Ghana seriously from Nigeria? We interrogated that question. And I want to affirm to you that we live in a country where our commodities, agricultural commodities, they are different from any other agricultural commodities in the world. To the extent that our cocoa is selected as a veneer for chocolate. So you can mix anything to form chocolate. If you do not have a drop of Ghana seed in it, it does not meet the nutritional quality for the world. So this is the kind of country that we have. So if we structure a value chain, we have to put value in the uniqueness of our commodities, which is why we are looking at emphasizing the derivative products that can come from Ghana, because we can be able to sell that as a premium quality. All right, so these are some of the things that we put in place. And I take pains to explain this to you because I believe this is the first time some of you are hearing about the 24-hour economy. And I want to pour out to you humbly the kind of thinking that went into developing the program and policy, because we wrote it ourselves. It is not by any consultant, not myself, Guzi, and the team. We sat down and we wrote this with our hand. So this is something that is genuine from Ghanaians, and it is as a subscription of the heart of Ghanaians who really want to see something happen. All right, so these are some of the things that I want to put on the table. And my plea is that we give it a chance to succeed. You need 20 years, according to Singaporeans, from Lee Kuan Yew spending 2 days with Kwame Nkrumah to do something like this that we are doing. They have to maintain this vision for 20 years. And we have an opportunity now with the 24-hour Economy Authority. So let us all look at the things that can help us to succeed and achieve greater success for yourself. Because that's what it is. You are the drivers of the economy. You are the people that will make this work. This 24-hour economy cannot work by the authority. It is you that will make sure that it works. And so we'll be very happy to hear from you, feedback even on incentives when it is passed, feedback on the things that we are trying to do. If some of them is too wayward, let us know. But also let us know about opportunities that we are missing that we can't see, because you are the ones who write as the architects of this economy. Right? So these are some of the things that I'll plead from you, and I really want this engagement to be something that is organic and must happen all the time. Criticize us, but give us solutions as well. That's exactly what we want to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We'll take the next set of questions, and then we'll break for networking lunch. I'm saying we are not closing. We're just going for networking lunch. So Honorable Sadat will be the first. Any 2, 3, any other? 4. And then we'll close for now. We'll go for lunch. During lunch, we'll be talking. Honorable Sadat, you have the floor. Where's the other mic? Where's the other microphone, please? Yes. Okay, it's coming from there. So we're taking 4, and then we go for networking lunch, and then we'll engage. We'll continue to engage.
Thank you very much. My name is Honorable M.A. Sadat, CEO of Krugu M.A. Company Limited and Treasurer, GNCCI Accra Chamber. The 24-hour economy is a good policy, and we are all going to support it. In the presentation that was done, I didn't really see one of my key sectors and how best I can fit in. And here I'm not just looking at only myself, but those in my sector. So the construction and cleaning industry, for instance, I don't know how, Doc, we are going to fit in there. Are you giving some of the contracts out to Ghanaian indigenous contractors who can do the work. And also, if I'm into, let's say, I want to go into farming for a starter, though my business is in another sector, but now I want to divert and go there. You mentioned the Bupe place, for instance. Do you have lands there that when I come to the secretariat and register with you or whatever, I do the formalities with you, I will be able to assess it and start something? And in that assessment, will financial support also be added to, apart from giving me maybe the lands? These are my few questions that I want to ask. Thank you.
Pepacho, midin de Arnold Ando Aqua, Mina Mida Ege Power Enterprise. Ano. Pepese mi bisa 24-hour economy say. Then no beti ma yede aboa heba industry. Because se me hwe nipa ewo industry no mu a ye do so pa na ye wonimdie a beti ma aboa ama oman yetimi akonanim. Nti masem bisa 24-hour economy.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Peter from Matam. I wanted to ask this simple question. Seeing all the presentations that were made from the 24-hour economy, beautiful as it were, my only concern is about the continuity of the whole 24-hour economy policy. I mean, something brief was said initially, but taking a cue from what Nas said earlier on, and that kind of caught my attention. He said there were some people who were more or less locked up in the 1D, 1F, whose funding were discontinued, and that we're seeing to see how they can help those people, being rolled onto the 24-hour economy. So, which means that just relying on the ally protecting the policy, in my opinion, may not be sufficient, because another government may come and say, okay, we have a simple majority, let's repeal this bill, and then do our own thing. My question to the 24-hour economy is, what are some of the KPIs that I believe, if we should hold you accountable, would protect this policy regardless of any government that comes? Because I believe that just a bill or an ally or forming an authority is not enough to protect it. What if we commit ourselves to it? Another government comes, repeals the bill, and then those of us who are locked, like those who are locked in the 1D, 1F, we find ourselves in that same space. What do we do? So what can you tell us to assure us that as you are wooing us to support it, when we get involved, we will not one day be caught in the political storm of changing ideologies? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is about the bureaucracy of the way the 24-hour economy operates. I sent a proposal to their email. I got the forms to fill. From there, I've not heard from anybody. Even at this program, I've been asking of their officials. I have not seen one. So I beg you, since it's a program to help all of us, I think the communication should be a bit transparent and available for everybody so that we can follow up with the proposals we have done. Thank you.
We are not closing. We'll go for lunch and then
So no, wait. Please, if you can answer that. Okay. I'll start from the last one, the bureaucracy. My chief, I'm an official of the 24 economy. I am an official of the 24 economy. You said you were looking for one, you didn't find it, so I'm here. But as Nas explained, I just want to be very frank and plain with you. When we started the Secretariat, we were just a handful. And we've been like that and growing organically. We receive about 10,000. We receive about 10,000 applicants that come in. One of the things that we realized was that it's a considered strategy that we make everything automated, very digital, so that it makes it easier for us to process what comes through. All right. So putting down those strategies took some time, and that is why we have delayed. But I can assure you that we are responding very quickly. And for some of you who have access to my WhatsApp, anytime you write to me, even sometime 3 a.m., I respond. I have responded to everybody within seconds, minutes of when you write to me. And that's what we all do. Guzi does the same thing, everybody does it. And some can testify that. So it's inadvertent that we do that. It's not the way we want to do business. But please, forgive us. We recognize the weaknesses and we are fixing it. Now, who will build the 24 economy? It's Ghanaians. There's going to be, for the agroecological park, the infrastructure, and infrastructure for the ecological parks and industrial parks will be built by Ghanaians. You will see tenders going out, and we encourage you all to be able to do it. Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund will lead our infrastructure, and they will be able to do that. Continuity and assurance. This is one of the toughest questions, and it's also one of the questions that hit at the core of the Ghana that we want to build. We want to build a Ghana where policy is continued. We want to build a country where what is good is safeguarded into the future. And we want to build a Ghana where we are continuously building on what foundations we've laid. From the administrative side of things, the LI provides the legal assurance of the authority existence. And as I said, it is constructed much the same way as the Volta River Authority was constructed, which has surpassed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So we hope that this will continue. And if you want to change the Act of Parliament, you will need a referendum, not just majority in Parliament, but a referendum to be able to do that. Now the incentives, the difference between 1D1F and what we are doing, and this is actually the lesson we learned from 1D1F, was that you have incentives which you anchor it on administrative policy, not on a legal instrument, an administrative policy. And the reason they anchor it on administrative policy was that 1D1F was not debated in Parliament and voted upon and enshrined in our Constitution through acts of Parliament as a bill. So we decided to take the 24 economy to be debated in Parliament so that it becomes an act, and therefore you are able to write legislations around the act that continue to go. Now, our hope of sustaining the incentives and the achievements of the 24 economy, when we succeed and when we build all these industrial parks and you have all these financial instruments, including patient capital and all these incentives, our hope is you to sustain it because you are the benefactors of this. You are 10,000 members. And each of you are employing 5 persons. That's 50,000. And if all of you are enjoying an incentive that one government wants to throw away, if we have 50,000 of you on the street, can the government succeed? The other thing is that you have power. Your power is you drive Ghana's economy. Nobody can mention growth of an economy without your contribution. And the SMEs contribute 90% of Ghana's economy, 90. So you have power. So our hope is that when you receive the incentives and it is working for you, protect it. We are only 5. We can't protect it as much as 50 of you can protect it. And when we have made a provision that it cannot be destroyed, unless you have to do referendum and so on, we have made it a very tough one. Even if it has to be debated in Parliament, it will have to be amended. It will have to be voted. And I also believe that there won't be a situation where someone will be in opposition, and when he sees something that is good, will say it is not good. Maybe we have the current crop of politicians who are like that. But 10 years from now, those who are 15 will be 25. And if these guys are the ones that are going to take us to the next stage of our lives, then I think that it is also incumbent on all of us as citizens to protect what is good for Ghana. By 2050, we're going to be 50 million people. 15 million more people are going to be added to this country. You are the vanguards and architects of now. You are the ones that make things happen. You constitute 90% of Ghana's economy. What kind of Ghana economy do you want to build? And how do you want to build it with values, integrity, and systems that the 50 million that's going to be added to our population will upheld? It is not just politics. It is about a citizen's commitment to his national development. That's what we have to do. So my admonition to all of you is protect what is good for you. We have done our best and we hope. But our hope is in you. That's how I'll answer the question. And the last one, I think there were 2 questions that I missed. One, before I come to the last one, one is about the markets. It's about the markets. Sorry, please. I get passionate when I talk about nation building, so please forgive me. Forgive me. I'm very compassionate like that. Please forgive me. I hope you forgive me, please. Thank you. Please. The truth of the market is that it's not part of our portfolio. The market is with MMDCs run by the local Ministry of Local Government. What we did is to structure the market not as an infrastructure, as the market that you grow in a local economy, to ensure that what we produce at agricultural parks and industrial parks, we find expression in those local markets. So the vision is to have a made in Ghana kind of mall in all the markets. So that when you go in and you want authentic Ghanaian product, you find it in those markets. And we constructed a night side of it so that it could take advantage of the shift in the hour clock of transport and logistics and so on. So if you look at Kwasi Adwoaso, for example, most people today, I know it because I used to sell at Kwasi Adwoaso before I go to school. I went to Kimbu Junior Secondary School, and I'll go there, set my mom up to sell pepper and so on. And when finished, then I'll go to school. So that's how I manage my education. Normally, people will come and dump their products between 10 to 12. They will sleep at 1. By 2, the market women have started. When we used to have Katamanton with the railway, I would go to the market at 4 with scarves because those who buy merchandise from Accra and take it to Kumasi. So I know how the market works. So this market is inherently 24-hour already, but we have to structure it well so that the landing site, the logistics, the exchange of goods, and then transactions and everything can happen well. So that's what we supported with. So unfortunately, we have no leverage or jurisdiction on the markets. We only help them to structure the market from the ideological perspective and continue to maintain oversight when it is built to make sure that we construct the 24-hour economy there. Then there's a question about security. The police has a 24 economy unit, and they have a program called Policing the 24 Hour. The immigration has it, the prison have got it, and prison is doing something interesting. As part of prison reform, they are building an industrial park on some of their lands to produce the things that Ghanaian economy needs, whether in textiles and garments and some of the uniforms, but also chairs, school chairs, and so on, and producing agricultural products and so on. And what touched me was the fact that the prisoners that would do it, they were paid and their monies will be put in their account. So when they leave, they graduate, they come out, they already have enough money to be able to start their lives. That really touched me. And so they also have the expression of 24 economy. Immigration has it, and all the ambulance and so on, the health service. So everybody is mobilized. But cybersecurity is actually mobilized in a bigger way, because when economy expands, thieves become sophisticated. All right? And most of the transactions we are hoping could be done in a digital form to avoid the armed robbery and so on and so forth. So cybersecurity is also very much engaged in this, and they're looking at doing all types of models to look at what they need to do to strengthen their capacity to do it. Now, we were told that part of the recruitment on the security sector was to take account of the additional capacity they need to run the 24 economy. So that was taken into consideration. Now, the last one is herbal industry. That's my favorite. Compatriots, brothers and sisters, you know, when you look at pharmaceutical products, we import between 70 to 80%, even of our essential drugs. The import across West Africa is to the tune of $1.7 billion, some $2 billion per year. Now, there's something called the active pharmaceutical ingredient, and the pharmacists who are here, they know it, APIs. Now, APIs are, the ones who develop APIs are the ones who are the real industrial pharmacists. In other words, if you go to Malcolm, you like to eat pizza. What you go and do is to get a pizza that is done already, so you put it in your oven. The one who does the pizza is the industrial pharmacist. So it's the same with medicine. Now, most of the APIs are produced out of our herbal medicine, most of them. And we have an herbal medicine that has progressed to the extent that it becomes so sophisticated, and we are getting cheated out of it because people come and take it, go and develop the API, and they benefit from it. So our Legon Pharmaceutical Innovation Center we are establishing is to work with Center for Plant Medicine and those in the herbal medical industry to develop Ghana unique-based APIs that would transform that into our own essential medicines so that we can also sell medical products, not just West Africa, but across Africa, to be seen as though somebody is doing Chinese medicine. That's the vision. That's exactly the vision we have. And this vision is very, very important, but it requires hard work, because what we realize is that there's only one industrial pharmacist in this country, he's 65 years old. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, and we are going to do it. You know, what motivates me to serve here in the 24 economy, after spending 20 years in the UN system, I worked as Ban Ki-moon's, the Secretary General Special Advisor. And I coordinated the work of Guterres in the Sahel region. I left there and I came here. As a man who grew up from Bukom, who had to sell at Kwasi Adjusted to go to school, and I have one school uniform, one pair of shoes from Odododiodio constituency, I know what the country has done to make me who I am, because I could never move from poor to that level if something has not come as a cushion effect for me. You understand? And so I know, after working in 36 countries in Africa and close to 52 in the world, at high level of politics, I know that if we were to build this nation, it is us who are to do it. And we have the financing to do it. The problem is how to manage and construct and provide an architect of the financing that we can do it. So I will end with this. As a Gamma, I eat Kenke. So I decided to do an analysis of the Kenke economics. I talked to 3,000 people who make sales of 3,000 a day. Kenke sellers. 3,000 and 3,000 is 9 million. 9 million Ghana cedis a day for Kenke sellers. That's 36 million Ghana cedis a day from 3,000 Kenke sellers. That's 2.7 or 3.27 billion Ghana cedis a day, a year, for Kenke sellers. And none of that money is in the bank. My mom, who sold, I sold with her, never had a bank account. She's always afraid of bank account. The only time we lost money was when Kwakwe chewed it. The mouse chewed it. And Kakalika. I don't know the English name. I'm a Buko man. So, let me ask you, my friend from Digital, what if you have done an inclusive economic digital structure so that you harvest the 3.2 billion Ghana cedis that Kenke sellers have and throw that back into the economy for SMEs to rent and to get loans of? That is the 24-hour economy. That is the vision. And that is the ecosystem we should construct. And so I really want to encourage all of you. Let's not listen to our naysaying minds. This is a real opportunity to build something for Ghana you can be proud of. And with this, I really thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
We are taking the last two so that you can answer them. Last two. So. Lunch. We are saying that we are not closing from here. We will have a networking lunch and then we can continue with the engagement. We are pleading with you. Sabu, you have asked one question. Let's take the two and then during the networking lunch, we will have the rest. Please go ahead, madam.
Okay.
My
name is Georgina Odum from Useful Waste Limited, just like the company name sounds. I think to the 24-hour economy, is there any policy on the 24-hour economy regarding waste management in Ghana? Do they have any investment package for individuals who are into waste management? And is there any plan for government to set more recycling plants in the country for waste management companies? Looking at this current issue we had on flood and the opportunities around waste management and how government can employ a lot of youth and also keep our surroundings or our environment clean and protect all of us, is there anything in there for waste management in the 24-hour economy? I'm done.
Thank you very much. My name is Sethami Aldankwa. I'm a tourist enthusiast. Let me go on. Dr. Ish tackled the last part of my question, but what I didn't hear from him was consolidating the transport sector. I had security in there, but he touched on it. Yesterday, I was coming from Takrady. I got to Malam Junction at 12 a.m. and I needed a trotro way home. I was lucky to get one, but I realized that the fare had increased by 10%. And the mate told me because it was the last hour vehicle. And so it means that I was even privileged. So, in the case of running the 24-hour economy, what are you considering in terms of, are we going to see Ayalolo in the night or Metro Mass in the night as well? The second one has to do, he mentioned about, because I know that they are going to be the lifeblood of this policy. But we know their challenges. They are underfunded. We know our streets are not lit. We know the kind of problem they are facing with waste management. And in the night, if another economy is being run, how are they prepared? And I know that the 1DF had secretariat within the MMDAs. Are we going to see such? And are they prepared? Are they themselves informed about even this policy so that even if we should go to them, we will have enough information about it? And then the last one is, how would you rate the success of this policy in terms of practical implementation? I'm asking that because we have an 8-hour government supporting a 24-hour economy. For instance, if I want to clear goods from at the port may be able to clear it within the 24-hour framework. But then I need FDA or I may need GSA to do the testing for me. Am I going to get them in the night, or my goods are going to be stuck there? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. The question about waste management is one that is at the heart of the 24-hour economy, because part of productivity is waste. And therefore, our strategy is to have a circular economy where the waste collection and use utilization can also apply back to support the production. So we've been talking to waste to energy companies who are coming to us. We are discussing with the MMDAs to be able to have a more innovative way of waste collection. For example, at Mokola, they can have a couple of ships that are collecting the waste and be able to dump it. The other thing is somebody must use the waste that has already been collected. I remember that I think it was GIZ or so that did this analysis that all the waste that we have in a country, if we were to translate it into an economy, is about $44.7 billion of an income. So we know that the waste is one of the things, and the flood also showed us how important to deal with the waste. So yes, we are very keen to look at different options that are coming in. So please reach out to us and let's discuss how you can contribute. The transport sector tied to security, especially for the night economy, is very key. You will recall that only recently we worked with the National Petroleum Authority and roll out the 24/7, petrol stations and so on and so forth, and this is happening. We are talking to the GPRTU and then the MCEs and so on. An idea is to empower a private sector that would come in and run a 24/7 trotro services. Of course, the Ayalolo bus services, we're expecting that they come on board and they run shifts and the other government-owned transport systems. This is something that is being worked on, so we hope that it's coming. Now that brings me to the question. That brings me to the question: what would success look like? Our KPI is to be able to generate about 1.7 million jobs. Ultimately, we want to have a country where unemployment becomes a non-important issue. That everyone will be able to use whatever they've traded on to come to the market and find a job. To the extent that by the time you graduate from any trade, I'm not talking school, any trade, you have a job that is available for you and you can actually access the job. So one of the things that we are doing is we are actually working to develop a portal, a one-stop shop where you go in and you can see all the jobs across the country with the skills that are required and you'll be able to apply and get jobs. So success is when jobs have been grown. For me, my personal success is to see that everywhere you go across Africa, people are putting premium on goods that are coming from Ghana. And my desire is that we will have at least 100 billionaires, dollar billionaires from Ghana. That is my desire. And it is possible because if you have a West Africa economy that is almost getting to about $1 trillion West Africa economy, then I don't see why we cannot have 100 billionaires who are actually controlling some of the markets in West Africa and they are producing here, which is why we are doing everything possible to help you acquire the finance, help you deal with the energy issue, help you deal with the land issue, give you the incentives and open the market for you. So that is also my desire. A very prosperous, wealthy Ghanaian who are excelling in every way, and our human capacity is highly sought after across all disciplines and sectors. That is what I want to see, and I believe we are able to do that. It gives me great pleasure to really thank you for this opportunity. For me, it's a humble thing to be able to work with some of you are captains of industry to discuss the trend for economy. Please forgive me, I've been over-passionate about some things. But I thought that we are all Ghanaians and we all have one denomination to really make Ghana a better place. So I really thank you for this opportunity and God bless you.
Thank you. Shall we do it better for Dr. Ishmael Nidodu and the entire team from the 24-hour Secretariat, as well as our partner from Republic Bank. Let's also give them a hand of applause. They are here. So we'll be doing another session. We are still talking to our partners, and then the 24-hour Secretariat will be doing other sessions so that we can deepen the interaction that we are having today. We know today will not be enough to satisfy everybody here, because there are a lot of questions that are unanswered. But what we are promising you, let's have a networking lunch and let's continue with the discussions. But beyond that, the chamber will have another session with you. Hopefully, it will be a regional session where we will go to all the regional capitals and interact with business operators. So those of you who have come for the regions, do not worry. We are coming to your backyard. Thank you very much. We shall invite the president to give us his closing remarks. Let's do it, otherwise he will not speak.
Earlier on, I stood here and I greeted good morning. Now I have to greet good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think the day has been long, so I'll try to be short so that we can all live here. Dr. Dodu, as you were speaking, there are a couple of things I noted down. One of it is that to maintain a vision, it has to take 20 years. And then you stated a Singapore example. Dr. Dodu, I'm giving you 4 numbers, and I want you to calculate it. 8, 8, 8, 8.
4.8. 4.8. How many? How does it? What? 32, right? 32. So 4.8 for Rawlings, Vision 2020. 8 for Kufuor, Property Owning Democracy. 8 for Atta Mills, Better Ghana Agenda, and 8 for Akufo-Addo, Ghana Beyond Aid. And now we have President John Dramani, who also has 24-hour economy. So now he's there now. So I'm just talking about the 4.8 I've given you. And all these economic policies have changed over time. I think one of the things that you said, and that you are hoping for, and you kept insisting that this is a policy that has been legislated, and it is going to take a lot to not operate it. I sadly disagree with you. It's because of how our politics is like. It is very easy for a government to say that we are not going to even debate 24 hours at Parliament. We are just going to defunct it. That alone will make it non-functional. So they have to bring a new policy. It is just sad that for the past 32 years that I mentioned, Rawlings, Kufuor, Mills, Atta Mills, Ghana as a country have changed from policy to policy, and we are still here at where we are. Having said that, as you and your team went on elaborating, there are two things that came to mind, two models of development. I call it the China model and then the Dubai model. I always say that. That's why I say the China model and then the Dubai model, and I explain. The China model, China has developed because of industry. So they have used industry to develop to where they are. Dubai has used services. So you go to Dubai for conferences, tourism, and holidays. So they have used that. And that is the model that Rwanda is picking. If you look at Rwanda is picking the service model. So everybody's mentioning Dubai because they want Rwanda because they want to go there for the service, conferences and all of that. And I think that Ghana is at a position where if you pick the Chinese model, it is our best bet of development. And it's the easiest. It is the easiest because our lowest hanging fruit is our agriculture sector. And if we concentrate on developing, processing our agriculture, it means that we are on the way to industrial. I'll give you a good example. A friend of mine owns Ekumfi Juice, which is situated in Ekumfi. The factory in Ekumfi dictates that there should be a school for the community. The factory situated in Ekumfi dictates that there should be a hospital for the community. And that factory dictates that the roads should be improved so that the farm produce would be transported to the manufacturing side and the processing side, and also from the processing side to export and consuming public. So it means that if we take the Chinese model, development of a nation becomes the easiest way. And we have everything, even on the agricultural side. Not to talk of natural resources, gold, manganese, bauxite, and all of that. So, with the mention of the Volta Economic Corridor by the president very recently, that we were all invited to come to the Jubilee House. It was exciting to know that the government has a plan to use the sea routes as a development tool. And this has been done in a lot of jurisdictions, especially even in Egypt. You realize that the Nile has been used to produce a lot of agriculture produce for us. Having said that, I want to close by stating our position as GNCCI to say that as the lead advocate for the private sector, we want to work closely and we want to support this government agenda. In this regard, we want to make a few recommendations to the Secretariat. One is to prioritize the implementation of this policy So just like I said, I gave you 4/8 so that no government comes and then the policy is changed to another name. And we have seen one district, one factory change to 24 hours. And it's the same. You have mentioned it from all these policies, from Rollenstein. So we want to see the government prioritize the implementation of this policy. We also want to see that this policy is continued from government to government. Another area that we want to recommend to government is the reduction of electricity, especially, and also access to capital for industry. That is where the banks come in. We also want to recommend that the government provides targeted investment incentives. So we need to, when we do a wholesale 24-hour economy, we may lose the emphasis. But if you target them and pilot them, I think that we can make a headway. The reason why we have the AFTAG Secretariat in Ghana is not for any bad reason. It's for a very good reason. And because we have it here, we want to recommend that we prioritize strategic value added export products. Beginning, I mentioned to you the percentage difference in our non-traditional exports and also that of our traditional exports. And realize that on the average, we are doing about 15% of a traditional out of a total export. So there are a lot of non-traditional exports that we think that the government should put a lot of concentration. And I'll give a few examples. We have the shea butter and the shea-based derivatives. We have the cereal and the tuber derivatives. We have the palm and nut derivatives. We have the pharmaceutical products. We have cocoa and cocoa derivatives. Last but not the least is rubber and rubber derivatives. Having said that, I want to say that let us also strengthen our export market access. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please, I have only one name. My name is Abbas. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll call upon the head of marketing, Mrs. Gizegble, to first talk about the ETV or the Chamber TV and give us the closing prayer. Shall we welcome Madam?
Thank you, Mr. President and my colleague moderator. GNCCI has a TV, a digital channel, YouTube. It's GNCCI TV. We have a number of business-related news, so please visit GNCCI TV on YouTube and watch the news and also give us your comments. We also have a very special program which is hosted by yours truly. It is the member spotlight. This one is for only members of GNCCI. The president and his team wants to, one of the avenues they want to promote members and what they are doing and also encourage good business practices is to appear on the GNCCI TV on the member spotlight edition. For now, we are doing it for free. You appear for free, and if you are touched and support, but it is for free. It is very soon we will have to take something before. So I want to encourage those of us who have something to share. We want to promote your good business practices, what you are doing, your products, your services, whatever you are doing, wherever you are. If you cannot come to our studio, we have a studio at Jowulu, at the National Secretariat. But if you cannot come, we can make an arrangement and come to your office and have the interview, and I will host you and you enjoy it. So I encourage you, if you are interested, please, what number should they contact? Communications, what's the number? Or contact your regional secretariat, and also the chamber numbers on our website. Communication, can you give us the telephone number people can reach us on? Okay, please project it, and we encourage members to contact us and let's help us to promote your business as we take advantage of the digital platform that is going on. Shall we pray? Father, we are grateful to you for the resources that abound to Ghana, both human and material resources. Even as we have discussed how to maximize these resources, we continue to depend on your wisdom on how to explore all these opportunities. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. So it is, we have closed Let's Network. We always encourage that when you attend a program, don't just talk to the people you know. This is a great platform to talk to another person about what you do. Please talk to me. I want to know. Okay, so this is GNCCI details, GNCCI TV details. Please take it. I want to see a lot of traffic coming for member spotlight on GNCCI TV. Please take the contact number and the details on the screen. Please talk to somebody about what you are doing. Talk to me about, I want to talk to you about what you do as we go for lunch. Thank you.
So, housekeeping. Please do not leave the room. We are going for a buffet lunch. But then you'll be called table by table. Kindly sit by your table. They will come to you and then they will walk you to where we are having the buffet lunch. So please do not leave your table. Just sit by your table.